What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to Max Coverage TV, and we are officially here, Kiefer. Tomorrow is the start of something, hopefully, for both of us, historically great, man, on both of our sides, Packers and Jags. But most importantly, the NFL is finally back, man. We're not talking about preseason no more. We're not talking about those, no one cares about preseason. Let's be honest here. We are here. It is finally time for some real football, baby.
Well, let me interrupt you right there, Maxwell. All right. Because some of us
Woo!
do care about preseason. Okay. Guys, I watched all the first teams this preseason, all of them. I saw every snap. Okay. I do care about preseason. But it's a surreal feeling every year for me when we get to this point because I'm like, we finally made it. I've been
Dude.
thinking about this since we left and we're back. So feels great. Can't wait to get through tomorrow and get to that potential Super Bowl matchup we got starting for the very first game with the Bills and the Rams. So
Yeah. I'm the schedule makers made the first game way better than the past, past couple years we saw. I mean, it was good ones, but like this one seems like this could be a potential Super Bowl matchup waiting to happen. But, I'm just ready, man. This did feel like the shortest off season that we've had though. I don't know what had like
it's
why,
because
but
we've been doing this. That's why.
yeah.
I know that's what it is because I feel the same way. Like it has flown by. And I just truly feel like it's because we've been doing videos and it's just so time consuming that it
Oh
kind
my
of just
god, yeah.
time just blows past you.
Yeah,
But we
so
are here.
we
So
are here. And shout out to Brandon and Chris. They're in the chat right now. And I want to let everybody know Kiefer and I have been working very hard on this Sunday show that we are bringing to you all live Sunday morning. The NFL Sunday morning rundown show here on Max Coverage TV every single Sunday morning from 9:30 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m. each and every Sunday. Come join us, grab a cup of coffee. We will be breaking down all the games for y'all, as well as talking DraftKings, some parlays, all that good stuff. And we're gonna have a bunch of friends with us, like our boy right here, Jason French, in the building. What's going on, bro? But man, it is here, and we are gonna basically bring this episode to y'all just to give you guys our previews on what the season might be in store. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna break down the divisions, who's gonna win each division, give you all some wild card playoff teams, and also who's gonna just absolutely stink and take home that number one draft pick next season, as well as who will win MVP. So this is what this episode is going to be in store for y'all. And hey, it's time, baby. It's time. We're about to be geared up 6 months, and soon Sunday will be the first time we say 7 hours of commercial-free
commercial-free football,
football, baby. All right, Keeper. Well, let's dive into some divisions here. Let's start with the NFC North. Our buddy French is in the chat, so let's start it off with the NFC North. Might as well. It's only
You mean
right.
East, NFC East, friend.
Oh, is it NFC East? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry, my slide was off. But yes, we're going to the NFC East, and we're going to be talking some NFC East. Who's going to take this division, Kiefer? It looks like we are basically on the same page right here. We have the Eagles, then the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants, of course. The Giants are still going to be the bottom dwellers of this division. But Kiefer, I see we're on the same page, but tell me, why do you think the Eagles will have the slight edge over the Cowboys in this division?
Honestly, for me, I don't think it's going to be that slight. I think the Eagles have a
Ooh.
good little gap between them and the Cowboys just because look at the talent that is on the Eagles right now, okay? This team was arguably one of the most aggressive teams in the NFL this offseason. They went and got A.J. Brown to put aside Devontae Smith. They already had one of the best O-lines in the league. We heard rumors that their weakest position right now, in my opinion, on offense, running back, they're looking at Kareem Hunt. So, listen, that and those talks have slowed down, but I'm just saying, like, if they get Kareem Hunt, this is an absolute elite offense. And then you flip it over on the defensive side. Their interior defensive line is freaking godly, man. They have Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, who had an absolute breakout year last year, and they just drafted Jordan Davis as well, right in that inside.
Yep.
And look, this was a team that didn't get a lot of sacks last year. So what they do, they went and added Hassan Reddick. Okay. And oddly enough, this is the one thing that I think is weird. Hassan Reddick, the Eagles play in a 4-3, and Hassan Reddick is actually slated to be an outside linebacker for them this year in a 4-3. And I was kind of surprised to see that because he's played outside linebacker in the past, obviously, but those were 4-3 situations. And this is a guy that got double-digit sacks the last 2 seasons. I just think also you look at their secondary too. They add James Bradbury. They trade for Chauncey Gardner. I mean, dude, that is a loaded team. Okay. The only question mark you have is quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And I've already said it. Look, I believe in Jalen Hurts with this amount of talent around him and his running ability. I just feel like this Eagles team, the ceiling is where Jalen Hurts can take them.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, man. I think the Eagles just made one of the best offseason moves throughout the whole offseason. Draft, free agency, just trading for guys. You know what I'm saying? They have made the biggest splashes for me in my eyes for the offseason, and it's going to be all in Jalen Hurts. This is make or break Hurts' season. And I just feel like for the Cowboys' sake, you lost your power. You lost your firepower. I mean, Gallup, he should be back, I think around week 4-ish.
They're saying by week 4 because he didn't get put on the PUP to start the season. So that means that they think that he's going to be eligible within the first 4 games. But yeah, they lost him and Amari Cooper as well on top of that.
Exactly.
So that hurts. And then honestly, the bigger issue for me with Dallas's offense is the offensive line. Okay. You lose Teron Smith. You were already kind of like letting your line go. They let Lael Collins leave this offseason. They just have multiple guys that are first-year starters as far as like they are the starter and not in because of injury. And they went and signed what's his name from the Eagles, the guy that's definitely a Hall of Famer, left tackle.
Jason Peters.
Jason Peters, yeah. And he's on the practice squad. I would expect him to eventually start for them. But, I mean, he's 40 years old, man.
Yeah.
Like, just the team overall, the talent for the Cowboys is not what it was last year. And to address the comments, I do think Dak is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts right now. I understand that Jalen Hurts had his struggles last season as far as accuracy. But most of that, when you look at the film, most of it is him throwing the ball late. And I feel like that is super fixable. I mean, look, it was Jalen Hurts' second year in the league last year, but it was his first year as a full-time starter in a new offense. I think he did a pretty damn good job overall. I will say he needs to win the hard games. That's the one thing that really needs to be jumped up in Jalen Hurts' game is when he's playing a good team, he needs to be able to elevate. I feel like I only saw that one time last year. The Eagles were always losing to teams they were supposed to lose to. But the Chiefs, he did fight in that game, but every other game where they were playing against a top-level team, he did normally get beat up pretty bad by that team. But he's young, man. That's my argument against it. Dak probably did at times too his rookie year. So I just think with Hurts, we're going to see what he can be this year. We're going to see if he can make that next level jump in his career. But I personally, I believe he will.
Yeah. French is right about this though. He's 40, but check his Bears tape last season. I mean, he did.
Bears offensive line were terrible. I don't know how he individually played. I'm not calling him out. Maybe he is still playing at the top of his game. But all I'm saying is Jason Peters clearly wanted to play football, and he didn't get an offer until this injury. So that's all. I just think we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll step in. Maybe he will be the All-Pro Hall of Fame talent that he's been in the past. But I just think at age 40, I mean, that's a lot to ask from a guy. And specifically with Zeke, I just think Zeke needs a good offensive line. Like, I personally, if French already knows this, personally, I feel like after what we saw when Dak went down and the Cowboys had those injuries and how Zeke played, I feel like Zeke needs the rest of the team to be good. I don't think that this is a situation where Zeke is going to be able to carry the team. And I do believe Dak is a good quarterback, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, especially with Mike McCarthy as coach, okay? And on top of that, I just don't think Jerry Jones is really going to give Mike McCarthy much to work with beyond what he has. Like, if there's something that they need this season, Jerry Jones is not going to get it from Mike McCarthy because Jerry Jones has high expectations for this team. And if Mike McCarthy doesn't meet them, he's probably going to get let go for Sean Payton. I mean, I feel like everybody thinks that. So that's another reason that I just feel like Dallas is going to take a step back this year.
Yeah, and I'm not really poo-pooing on Dallas at all. What's going on, Mike, and what's up?
And we haven't even talked about the penalties, guys. French, what are you guys going to do about these penalties? You guys were the most penalized team last year, okay? And this preseason, you guys have been penalized a lot this offseason. Mike McCarthy's not even worried about it.
Yeah, and I just think, A.J. Brown being there is going to help, like, Hurts tremendously. It gives him more of a deep ball threat I mean, Devontae Smith's not bad. Don't get me wrong, but you add another layer with AJ Brown, and we're gonna really see how Hurts can throw the ball. We have seen it personally that he's been inaccurate at times, but I mean, now you have a guy like you can, split the safeties back. You can open up that middle for Devontae Smith on more inside routes, cross routes and all that stuff. So I just think AJ Brown being there opens up a whole nother dimension on this Eagles offense. And let's see if Miles Sanders can stay healthy. That's another big piece of this offense that kind of missed a lot of time last season. I mean, even though he did play, he wasn't really effective, man, because of that injury that he has been dealing with. But I do think Dallas is not going to be a bad team. I just have the Eagles winning this division. And like I said, it's all about Jalen Hurts. But I mean, we see eye to eye, obviously, in this division. What's going on, AJ show?
Guys, I just want to give some clarification when I was making these slides. I picked all of my stuff first. Me and Max did not talk at all. That goes without saying. It really annoys me, actually, more than anything when we pick the exact same shit. But one last thing for the Eagles that I just want to mention. We didn't even talk about Dallas Goedert. We haven't even mentioned Dallas Goedert's name, and he's one of the he's easily top 10 tight ends in the league. So, look, the Eagles is stacked. All right, now let's talk about the cellar dwellers for a second. All right.
Oh, Lord,
the Commanders at 3 and the Giants at 4. So let me ask you, Max. Commanders, why do you have them so low? Because they were in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not really big on the team, honestly. Like, all right, so there's already been some reports coming out about Chase Young re-injuring his knee in Von Miller's training camp. Now his team is coming out. Yeah, his team's not come yet and not happy. But now there's reports saying that's not true, that he didn't go to the camp. I don't know if you saw that or not. But now there's, he say, she say, Brian Robinson got shot. I mean, that is very, very, it sucks to see. We don't want to see that, of course. We don't want to see that at all. But it's just one thing after another thing. And, you have Carson Wentz as a quarterback here on this team. Let's be honest. I was very wrong about Carson Wentz. French, I know you're going to say something in the chat. I get it. But I once said Carson Wentz was better than Dak. I eat my words every single day when I said that, y'all. He is not nearly as good as Dak Prescott is. And I mean, let's see. There's people on Twitter saying, oh, the Commanders think they found their missing piece with Wentz. You know what I said back to them? I said, so do the Colts. That didn't work out. I mean, I don't trust Carson Wentz, Kiefer. That's basically why I have them at number 3. They have good pieces on that team. Like I love McLaurin. Antonio Gibson, we don't know what's going on with him. He's taking kickoff returns now. But that defense is kind of like a question mark. That defensive line is pretty solid, but like you said in our past episodes, they fired the defensive line coach randomly right before the season started. So I don't feel like their chemistry is there. So I got them at number 3.
That is so funny because that is a lot of the same reasons I cannot put them anywhere near a playoff team because, okay, look, you didn't even mention the Dan Snyder bullshit that's going around right now, all right?
Oh my
we got
Lord.
The drama in all the coaches. You mentioned the defensive line coach getting fired, Jack Del Rio having the controversy over the dust up, quote unquote, at the White House. Okay, so this team has distractions left and right, all right? Their best player on defense, Chase Young, isn't going to be there for who knows how long. At least he's not going to be there for at least the first 4 games. On top of that, the defense is just underperformed overall. They're kind of getting weaker by the day. There's just not as many people. Like their back 7 is not what it once was. It's just not. The only piece of the Commanders' defense going into week 1 that I feel like is really strong is their interior with Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. Those 2 defensive tackles are the only 2 that I feel like you're 100% going to be able to count on. I'm right there with you with Wentz too. Wentz is already just a distraction in himself. He just keeps finding himself it's not his fault, but people just keep bringing him into controversy, like Jim Irsay talking shit about him, and then the reporter basically attacking him in front of his face about how he's not a good quarterback. So I just think that this team is not in sync at a point in time where they're going to be able to win any games. And not to mention, the first team offense has looked awful this preseason. I'm pretty sure they haven't even scored a touchdown the entire preseason. So the only reason that I have them over the New York Giants is because I think the New York Giants are in complete tank mode for year one with Brian Dabble. First of all, you got Daniel Jones as your quarterback, so you're pretty much screwed from the start. Okay, this is an offensive line that they're trying to rebuild. They do actually have two solid pieces at tackle that could develop with Andrew Thomas, who was a 4th overall pick, and then now obviously Evan Neal. But I just think like, dude, I mean, you literally dropped James Bradbury for like no freaking reason. Okay, you're not trying to win football games right now. That's just my opinion. The Giants are not trying to win football games. They're trying to assess what they have on their roster and what they need to do moving forward.
And also they're having some issues as well. Like Darius Slayton's not happy. You know what I'm saying? They settled something, so he's going to be back with the team. But that's just stuff you don't want to see coming into this season. Literally days. We're days away now for the season to start, and you're already having some off the field drama already. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's nothing else to say about the Giants, man. There's no hope for this team, man. But I think this is definitely how this division will kind of look near the end. Maybe
I feel like
maybe
the
we'll
NFC
see
is a little more predictable than the AFC. So
maybe the Dallas Cowboys will shut us up once again, huh? Right, friends?
We'll see.
Maybe.
If they do, it will be 100% because Dak carried this damn team.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's what will have had to happen.
What's up, James? What's going on, King Pookie? What's going on, y'all? But let's go to the NFC North. Let's see how this division shakes up and see how we have it set up here. So let's swap it over to there. Let's do it full screen. So Kiefer and I are exactly the same again. You know what I'm saying? We're two great minds think alike, Kiefer. What can we say, man? What can we say?
Look, I just feel like the NFC is a little more predictable, okay? Like, look at this division, all right? The Packers are the clear-cut one. Everybody's like, I've heard one person. I did hear one person on TV say they don't think the Packers will make the playoffs this year, which I think is complete insanity. But that's the only person. Everybody else just thinks they'll take a step back. I don't even think they necessarily have to take a step back. And here's why, okay? Obviously, they're not as strong at receiver this year since Devontae left, and they got these young bucks that they're going to try to develop. But look, the Packers are a team that could really lean on their run game in the offense if they wanted to, okay? They're perfectly situationed to do it because your defense is loaded. I'm not even going to talk about it. Anybody that watches football understands how good the Packers defense was last year. So, but with the run game, I mean, you got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon is, dude, that guy's got some power, okay? That is a good 1-2 tandem. And honestly, you can keep them on the field all the time because Aaron Jones is a good receiver. We see him line out wide anyways. So you can really create situations where if these young receivers aren't ready, you can just lean on the backs. So I just think that Green Bay is not going to take a step back this year.
Now, I will say this. I don't think it's going to be a easy divisional win. You know, I think the Vikings are breathing down our throats. You know, there's a lot of analysts out there saying, "Oh, the Vikings are going to win this division." Listen, you got a first-year head coach in Kevin O'Connell. I get it; he's a offensive-minded coach compared to Zimmer. Zimmer is a defensive-minded coach, and he, you know, let's be honest, he sucked. So, like, you have a fresh mind in the building. You got a fresh mind leading this offense, you know, and that's what this team is really strong in their offense. So, I get why the hype's there, but listen, you still got Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. Now, let's take a step back, all right? We're the big dogs in this division. Now, you can't be the dog until you beat the dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they have what it takes yet to win. I do think it's going to be close. Maybe a game decides this division, because I when I made my Packers schedule preview, I said we're going 11-6. All right, so listen, I think the Minnesota Vikings are a great team. I think they're going to win double digits this season, 10 wins maybe, but they're not going to get it done yet in this division. I do like the team though, so I just think there are question marks still to be solved on that defensive side for the Vikings, because you saw last season their secondary was atrocious. I mean, they would score 35, but they would give up 38. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's see how that happens this season. They did add Zadarius Smith, and, I mean, come on. Yeah, that stung, but they did also get Chandon Sullivan from us, 2 guys that they stole from us. But I don't think they have the team yet to beat us, but they're breathing down our throats. I will say that. And I mean, the Lions, same. They're improving, but they're not going to be anything close to what the Packers and Vikings are in my eyes. I mean, I like what Dan Campbell and the team is doing there, but it's not time yet for them to really make a stamp on this division.
Yeah, I think that there will still be a little gap. I think it'll still be like a good 2 games where you guys are up. You guys will have clinched it. I'm actually gonna. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. With the Vikings, I do think that they have a lot of talent on offense. First of all, they are like a firepower on offense. I'm 100% with you. It's all down to Kirk Cousins and the defense. Like the defense, it's interesting because they do still have players, right? Like it's not like it's a completely trash team on defense. They have Danielle Hunter. They obviously added Zadarius Smith. They have Harrison Smith in the secondary. Yeah. The corners are like old and like Patrick Peterson is like a super old player and he's just not playing at the top of his game. But I think that they have enough to compete and definitely take 2. Detroit Lions, the only reason I can't put them any higher than 3 is just because of Jared Goff. I do think that the Lions will come close to 500 this year. I think they'll have close to a 500 record, if not at 500, right at like probably like 8 and 9. I can see that. The Bears, man, they're another one of those tanking situations. I just feel like they're not even trying to win. So I'm definitely not putting them up any higher than 4.
No, I think the Bears are a top 3 pick next season. I think it's they're down there. They're down there for me. They're one of the worst. And you saw the videos in the preseason for this O-line already. They're getting killed. And I just feel bad for Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields. I think he has talent, man, but he just can't do anything behind that offensive line, bro. Like it might be worse than Joe Burrow last season. Like he might get sacked the most. He might get hit the most this season when it comes to like
interesting. Like you're talking about it, and I just thought of it. You know where Justin Fields would probably fit perfect? The freaking Lions, dude. I mean, if you slide Justin Fields onto the Lions like this, that Lions team actually has a chance to compete. I mean, their defense need a lot of work, but really on offense, I feel like it's just the quarterback. And with the Bears, I feel pretty good about Justin Fields. I honestly do. I think that he's a good prospect, but I think that everything else sucks outside of Darnell Mooney. That's the only thing that you're like, okay, I can work with this guy moving forward. A lot of people like that tight end too, Komet. But I'm not even that big on that guy. He's just okay.
What about David Montgomery?
Not really. I mean, he's okay, but he's not he's not like build my franchise around you good. So
and that's another report coming out that they don't really know how he's going to fit in this new offense for the Bears. I don't know what offense they're saying it's going to be new. I mean, I just feel like, what are you going to really change? You got Matt Eberflus, who's a defensive-minded coach. I mean,
I'm not coordinator.
the coordinator.
Not sure his name. I'm not sure his name off the top of my head, but that's the guy that's running the entire offense. It's his show.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you going to say that's new? You don't have any pieces there. So I don't know. I think they should really rely on Bill Lazor. Okay. Yeah. Well, you should really rely on Montgomery to be something in this offense. I don't know what
I'm stupid. No, it's Luke Getsy. Sorry, Luke Getsy.
Oh yeah. Well, I forgot he came from the Packers as well. Forgot they stole one of our guys. But yeah, I'm just not big on the Bears at all. But like I said, the Packers will be fine, y'all. A lot of people don't remember, we are 8-0 without Devontae Adams in the lineup. Okay, so even though he's gone, it's a huge blow. Don't get me wrong. One of the best receivers in the game by far, but we can get it done. Lazard is questionable for week 1, so that's going to be kind of interesting to see. But I just think, this is what the division is going to be. So we'll move on to the next division here in the NFC South. Now, this is another one that we absolutely agreed on. I mean, geez, Kiefer. So I
was kind of surprised. I thought you were going to put Atlanta over Carolina. I was really hoping you would. I feel like you can kind of debate that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, look, man, what are you going to do? Tom Brady's in this division. Okay, you're not putting anybody else at 1 with Tom Brady. That's just my opinion. I know there are a couple guys that are really big on the Saints that have put them over them. And I understand that the Saints beat them a lot in the regular season, but I just think at the end of the day, with Tom Brady and on Tampa, they're gonna do their thing, man. Like they're gonna come up at the 1 spot. But I do think New Orleans is going to be a close 2. Okay. To me, this is another one of those teams where it's kind of all on the quarterback, right? Like the defense is great in New Orleans. We all know that. Even with them getting rid of Chauncey Gardner Johnson, there's still a great defense. And they also lost Marcus Williams as well at free safety. But regardless, I mean, dude, they have the core intact. Their D-line is phenomenal. Marshawn Lattimore obviously has been a stud since he came into the league. And then you flip on the offensive side, there's a lot of question marks at receiver, okay? Chris Olave is obviously a first-round draft pick, but we haven't seen anything from him in the NFL. Michael Thomas coming off of injury. I just feel like between both of those combinations, you're going to have a true one. Then you have Jarvis Landry, who you're always going to be able to rely on. He's one of the best slot guys in the league. I just think their offense, the ceiling is where Jameis Winston can take them. Obviously, Jameis was looking pretty good last year, especially when you look at the statistically, maybe not game over game. He wasn't as consistent, but statistically, I mean, he had only like 2 interceptions, 14 touchdowns. So I definitely think the Saints are pretty much a lock to make the playoffs this year, barring any injuries. But it's just how far can they go? To me, that depends on Jameis.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man. Like the Bucks are just gonna be my clear-cut favorite in this division until Tom Brady retires for sure. He retired, guys, but he came back. All right, he had
Hey,
a
he'll
40-day
probably
little.
leave even if he doesn't retire. He's
Maybe.
probably going to Miami.
Hey, what do you say? What do you say, Kiefer? He's 45 years old. You know, he's going through some shit, you know. So he took a little time off. He got his head right, but he comes back. I mean, this division's Tom Brady's to lose until he's done, until he's out of this division. So I do like the Saints. I do think they're, you know, they always give the Bucks a pain on their side. You know, like it seems like they got their number in the regular season, that is, you know. So like the Saints will be there at their throats, but I think I just can't put Winston over Tom Brady. I'm sorry. Like you just can't, you know. And and this is another thing I've seen a lot on Twitter. A lot of analysts are putting the Saints as the winners of this division. I don't see it, man. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I mean, look at the Bucks on offense right now. You know, you locked everybody in, and then you bring in Julio Jones, which, you know, okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But then you also add Russell Gage. You know, like the receiving core is insane. Gronk did retire, but I don't feel like that's a huge blow because you have enough weapons to hold you afloat. Leonard Fournette's back. He re-signed 3 years.
Hey, he is chubby.
Hey, he might be the new tight end then. Shit, but no, I'm kidding. But I think the Bucks are going to be a-okay. You know what I'm saying? So I just think Saints are going to be a playoff team, but they just don't win this division. As far as Carolina and the Falcons go, I mean, try to get to 500. I know you won't, but Baker does make Panthers a more a fighting team, as you would say, because the Sam Darnold, this team was nothing. Like, no, I'm sorry. But I think Baker does give this team a little bit of a boost. The Falcons, there's nothing to really look forward to, man. It's going to be a tough couple years for you.
Oh, come on.
Time to rebuild, Falcons. I mean, come on. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Cordero Patterson. But, dude, let's be honest. And Drake London, they just drafted. I mean, come on. After that, bro, who do they really have? Let's be honest here.
Look. All right. So, to me, the Panthers and the Falcons both kind of have the same core fundamental issue. Their offensive lines suck ass, okay? That's basically what ran Matt Ryan out of Atlanta. He could not play with that offensive line. Carolina, they at least spent their 5th overall draft pick on Ike Ekwonu, but to be honest with you, he hasn't looked great in preseason. That's just being honest. Like, that was my guy.
That's your boy. That's your boy, dog.
I saw him play in the Patriots game, dude. He did not look good in that game. But regardless, I think Ike Ekwonu can play guard. I think that the Panthers are just closer to me. Like, when you look at their roster overall, it's just better. Their defense is actually there to me. Their defense is championship caliber. Yeah. They got a lot of good players on that defense. The offense, skill position wise, they're actually still pretty good. It's just that offensive line that's going to hold them back. The Falcons, on the other hand, their defense also sucks. So their offensive line sucks and their defense sucks. Their weapons are okay. I'm actually I don't love Marcus Mariota as a starter, but I actually kind of feel like he's serviceable because of his running ability and because him and Arthur Smith probably already have a very good understanding of each other back from Tennessee. So I just feel like with the Falcons, they need a lot of time. And they're one of those teams to me, like I've talked about earlier with other teams, but they're in a complete rebuild situation where it's like, dude, you drafted Desmond Ridder. You're kind of trying to see if that guy can be good. He did actually look pretty good in the preseason. But the roster as a whole just needs work, man. The defense has like a couple good players, like AJ Terrell obviously had a really good year last year. and Grady Jarrett is still doing his thing at defensive tackle. But other than that, they really don't have any like playmakers on that defense. So I just think they got a lot of work to do, even more than the Panthers.
Another thing for them is Mariota's health, man. Can he stay healthy? That's a big question mark as well. He got hurt, what? The one play he came in for the Raiders on like a read option, little like keeper. He got hurt.
That's gonna happen when you're running.
I mean, I get it, but dude, come on. The only play of the game he came in there and he got hurt. So that's another question mark, but I kind of see this division being exactly how this is on the screen. So let's move on to another. This is going to be a tough division, Kiefer. This is the one. Yep, we finally switched it up a little bit here. Just the two teams here. What's going on, Daniel? What's going on, brother? But let's bring it full screen.
Yeah, I kind of want to start here because I'm going to be honest
with
you, Max. I didn't say it to you because I just wanted to respectfully put your picks on the board. But when I saw you put the 49ers over the defending Super Bowl Los Angeles Rams, a little part of me was like, what the fuck is he talking about, bro? Like, explain to me, okay? Because the Rams are essentially the same powerhouse that they were, okay? Obviously, they lost Von Miller, but they added Bobby Wagner, so I feel like it's about an equivalent right there. So with the 49ers having Trey Lance at quarterback, obviously, at least that's the plan, how can you justify this, bro? How can you justify
I feel like this, with Trey Lance under center, it unlocks a whole new offense for this team. And I'm sorry. I just feel like this could be my sleeper decision. 2 words, Aaron Donald. I get it, French. I know y'all are gonna boo me in the chat. I get it. But listen, I just feel like the Niners, I just with Lance, it just gives them a whole new life, a whole new breath of fresh air. Now we don't know. I get that. And also, the reports have come out about Matthew Stafford, about his elbow. Now, they're saying it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to whatever. But I think that's going to linger a little bit.
Hey, he had to deal with back issues last year.
I get it.
And it worked out.
He's still going to do
He's a tough son of a bitch.
They did lose Odell, but they did gain Allen Robinson.
They did not lose Odell yet, okay? Let's be very clear. They have not lost him at least
yet. Now.
They even left his locker in there.
Right now, as we speak on this show, we're talking about the present here, and he's not on the roster right now.
He's injured. Right? So he wouldn't be on anybody's roster.
I don't care. Right now, this is how I feel. Now, George Kittle, if you guys don't know, is dealing with a groin injury now. He didn't practice today, so he might not even play week 1. So we'll see how the injury will affect him. So maybe I am a little crazy here, but I just have a good feeling about this 49ers team with Trey Lance under center. I just think that it's just a huge boost from Jimmy Garoppolo just because he can actually throw it down the field. Jimmy G, not so much. Now, not saying Jimmy G stunk, but I just feel like the Rams might have a little bit of a hangover for this Super Bowl. Now, Von Miller missing, it hurts. I have them losing tomorrow. I have the Bills winning tomorrow because I think Von Miller is, I'm telling y'all, I like Bobby Wagner too, but I just feel like Von is just such a big X factor for this team that he's going to be missed a ton, believe it or not. And the 2 words, Aaron Donald, more attention now for Aaron Donald without Von Miller in that lineup.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think they're going to miss Von Miller at all. Like, not that Von Miller isn't a good player. I just think Aaron Donald is so good that the next guy is going to be just as productive. Obviously, they have Leonard Floyd as one of their edge rushers, but whoever ends up being that other edge rusher, that second edge rusher, he's going to be just as productive because of Aaron Donald and because he's going to be double teamed and triple teamed. Look, I love Trey Lance as much as the next person. Obviously, I've been big on Trey Lance since his draft day and where I've been putting him in quarterback rankings and everything. Yeah, but I just think like when you have a sure thing, you have a sure thing. And to me, Matt Stafford and the Rams are a sure thing to win this division because they have multiple Hall of Famers on this team. They got 3 on the defense, like off rip. Okay. So I just think that there is no way that the Rams don't win this division. I think the Niners can slip into the playoffs. Absolutely. I think they have a good team. They obviously have the insurance policy with Jimmy G. So even if Trey Lance doesn't work out, they'll just go back to Jimmy G if they have to. But I just think that 100% the Rams will win this division. And I believe in the Niners, but not enough to pick them over the defending champs. Now, all right, let's turn over to the bottom half of this division, okay? The Arizona Cardinals at 3. What do you think they lack that doesn't give them the ability to be placed over? I mean, obviously for me, it would just be the Niners, but for you, over the Super Bowl champs.
Well, I think the first 6 weeks is the reason why. No DeAndre Hopkins. He's suspended 6 games because of PEDs. And in a division like this, you miss. I mean, that's the best playmaker on offense that you have, aside from Kyler Murray. I mean, that's a big blow. And we saw it last season when he was hurt in the back end of the schedule, and the Cardinals just absolutely, they fell apart, man. Their whole offense looked a shell without DeAndre Hopkins in that lineup. So I just feel like with him gone those 6 weeks, that's going to be a huge blow, man. That is going to be a huge blow. And if they start 2-4, it's going to be a tough uphill battle for them to climb out of that hole in this tough division, So that's why I have the Cardinals at 3. I don't think they're going to be a below 500 team, but I don't think they're going to be a 10-win team. I think they might just be at 9, maybe 10 wins, but I don't know, man. I just feel like that suspension is going to be huge for this team.
Yeah, so I just want to play a little devil's advocate here, all right? Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins being suspended 6 games.
Adderall. Was it Adderall?
Yeah, it was Adderall.
Oh, yeah, it was Adderall.
Or no, wait. No, I think I don't know. It was a performance. It was if Adderall can be
I don't think it was Adderall, French.
It was a performance enhancer. I'm not sure if they would consider Adderall a performance enhancer. I would think not. If they did, maybe. But I know that he was trying to prove that it was in some supplements or whatever. But look, with DeAndre Hopkins being suspended the first 6 games, all right, to be fair, the Cardinals did go out and get Marquise Brown for this situation because they knew they needed to add some speed. Obviously, Marquise Brown is not DeAndre Hopkins. But look, the Cardinals really have struggled more in the second half of seasons than anything. Mm-hmm. So if they could get hot, I mean, I don't think that it's impossible for them to be a double-digit win team, but I do doubt it. And the only reason I doubt it is just because I think, one, Kyler Murray stomping his feet, getting the contract, and then him and Cliff just kind of like they're in this weird thing where it's like they love each other and they want to be with each other, but they bitch at each other all the fucking time. Like with the play calling things and them having these disagreements. I just think that there's a little bit of chaos in that building. And I think there are people that don't actually like Kyler Murray that much in that building because the team releases a lot of shit that just is not pro Kyler Murray sometimes. So I just think that the Cardinals have a little dysfunction, and I think they're not as strong of a team as they were last year. I mean, you let a guy like Chandler Jones walk, that is going to hurt, man. Like, you are going to see a difference in your win-loss column. So I just think the fact that they have yet to show us them being a second-half football team, and that's where it freaking matters, man. I mean, that's where it is crunch time, is the second half of the regular season when you need to get these wins to get in the playoffs. They've stumbled into the playoffs last year and just got embarrassed to end the season. So I just don't think that this Cardinals team is any better than they were last year, and I don't project them to be better than they were last year. So.
Yeah, I mean, we saw
the Seahawks kind of speak for themselves. I'm not even going to say anything.
We don't need to even say nothing about the Seahawks, man.
Tanking team.
Yeah, that's a top 5 team in the draft next season. But, with the Cardinals, we saw them start hot as hell, and they still fell completely on their face.
But
so.
hey, maybe the Hopkins suspension will be good because, hey, at least you're
be healthier
right at the mid-season point when you need that boost, because obviously whatever you've been doing the second half of seasons hasn't been working.
And they are the in-season Hard Knocks, so we'll be all tuned in. Yep, we'll see it all. So that's the NFC. That's kind of what we have right there. Let's head to the wild
cards. We're going to cover everything for the NFC first. So we'll hit the wild card since we're already talking about the NFC, all right? For me, I put in the 49ers because to me they're a lock playoff team because they can just switch to Jimmy if Trey isn't working out, and Trey's upside is huge. The New Orleans Saints, look, we talked about the talent on the team. They're to me, they're a team that can make it in. Now, the controversial one to me is my third team, which is the Vikings. And they're only controversial because, honestly, to me, more than anything, because I'm leaving out the Dallas Cowboys. I believe in Dak so much, man. So it really pained me to leave them out of there. And I gave it great consideration. I truly did. I gave it so much. This was the one spot where I had to take about 4 or 5 minutes. I literally pulled up their depth charts and looked at them like position over position. And I just think that overall, this is an offensive league, and the Vikings offense is so talented. If Kirk Cousins can put together one freaking clutch season, okay? And this is the thing that got me. This is the real selling point to me, at least in my head, with the Vikings over the Cowboys, okay? Kirk Cousins played the way he did over the past few years with the Vikings. Obviously, he's disappointed in the biggest of moments, but he has put up points. The defense has also disappointed, and he was doing all of this with a coach that did not believe in him. We already saw the reports about Mike Zimmer basically hated Kirk Cousins the whole time he was there. Now with Kevin O'Connell, okay, this is a guy that Kirk Cousins wanted them to hire, okay? This is a guy that he's worked with in the past. This is a guy that is going to believe in Kirk, regardless of what the GM thinks. We all know about his comments. But regardless, for this season, this guy is going to put his full trust in Kirk Cousins, and I just feel like they're going to pull together this one season where they make it in.
No, I did mess up because
I literally just said that I think Dak's a better quarterback. What are you talking about?
You know, French is always trying to tug on something, but I did mess up. The Cowboys are under my just miss list as well. I completely forgot, honestly, about the Cowboys. Like I said, like right before we went on air, I was like,
how can you forget about them?
Because like
shoves them down our throat every week.
Like I said right before we went on air, it's like, oh shit! I just realized the Cowboys aren't even in the playoffs for me. That's just how the cookie crumbled, French. I'm sorry, man, but like, I just think the Saints, the Vikings, and the Rams are just a better squad, man.
Listen, French. Listen, I'm sorry, but I just have to address French because I know he's mad. He literally came over here earlier today, and I talked about how, like, as I told him we were doing this, and I talked about how I'm most likely going to put the Cowboys in the wild card. Like, I felt like they would probably go there, and they just did. They just didn't make it. But listen, this is another reason, okay? Because I don't think Jerry Jones really wants Mike McCarthy to succeed that bad. That's also it. I feel like Mike McCarthy has so much pressure this season, dude. Like, to me, he's damn near already fired. Like, I feel like you might as well have already fired him.
Hey, French, if I was you, I'd want Mike McCarthy fired, man. I'd want. He says if Dak is a better quarterback, then wouldn't that give them an edge?
It does in some ways, but in all the other ways that I was just rambling about for the past 5 minutes, I'm not going to just repeat my whole spiel again. Just pull the video back a little bit and listen to what I said about the other positions. But yeah. Listen, that's what it is. That's what it is for me. And look, at the end of the day, something's going to be wrong. There's going to be an injury that happens this year that not like if Brady gets hurt, then the Bucs aren't even in the playoffs. Like something is going to happen. Like there's going to be injury is going to influence something. It does every year.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why we do this. We got it on air, so you can always go back and, see where we went wrong a little bit. But that's just where the NFC lied in our eyes. Let's head to the AFC because this is where things will get a little bit more
this is where it's
a little different. You know what I'm saying? Not right here. Not right here, Kiefer. But, we're always going to be agreeing on something.
Yeah, this one's the one lock.
Yeah. So we both had the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. I just feel like the Bills are one of the best teams in the league. There's nothing else to really say about this team. They are loaded each and every position on this roster, man. I just feel like, other than the punter, and he's a piece of shit basically. But this team from top to bottom is by far one of the best teams in this league. Dolphins they're a sneaky team. They're a very sneaky team, especially when they got Tyreek Hill. At first, they weren't up here for me. At first, I had the Patriots until they got Tyreek Hill. Like I'm talking about during the offseason. I was like, the Dolphins they're not bad, but they're not extremely good. But then they just started signing people. Teron Armstead, they brought in Tyreek Hill, Connor Williams, not saying he's, big time or not, Cedric Wilson. They signed a bunch of these people that made them into a great team. And then I don't know, man. I just feel like the Dolphins could play a little spoiler alert in the AFC somewhere. With the Patriots, I just don't really see anything positive with this team. Their offense looks like trash on paper, and we don't know who's calling the shots. Matt Patricia's calling the plays on offense. We don't know. That's what they're saying, but I just don't see it. They lost J.C. Jackson. They lost, everybody that was entirely good on defense for them. And then the Jets are just the Jets. They don't even have a starting quarterback right now. It's Joe Flacco for at least, what, 4 weeks, they already
4
said?
weeks. Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, Joe Flacco under the helm in New York, nah. It's the Jets, man. So that's where I have it.
So we have the same teams, but honestly, we have completely different logic. Because listen, the Dolphins, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The Dolphins could have done nothing this offseason. They could have done nothing, and I would have still put them over the Patriots. Because listen, okay, take Tyreek Hill out of it. We already know who Tyreek Hill is. Teron Armstead and Connor Williams, to me, are the bigger signings because their offensive line was so trash this year.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they've still looked like trash this preseason. But Teron Armstead hasn't played at all in the preseason, okay? And you look at this Miami Dolphins defense. This is an already championship caliber defense. They have a bunch of young players who are just going to continue to grow together, but they were already one of the top defenses last year, okay? I mean, you look at the cornerbacks, the secondary, the defensive line, everything. I could name these players to you, but we all know who they are, man. They're freaking studs, okay? The Byron Joneses of the world, the Xavier Howards, all right? The Richie Grant, okay? Like, these guys are good on defense.
The safety Holland.
That's who I meant, not Grant Holland. Yeah. And look, like Miami, they're just a team that's ready to grow and make that jump. All right. They have all these young players that have been compiled. They've been ready for that next step. They won the last 7 out of their last 8 games last year. And you look at the Patriots. Okay. The Patriots, this is why I say they could have done nothing, because the Patriots let everybody go. They don't have a strength anymore. All right. They've been drafting bad for like the past 5 years. They spend all their money on people that are just like role players, like Jonnu Smith. Hunter Henry's good, but Jonnu Smith is a role player, okay? Nelson Aguilar's average. You gave him like starter money, and he should really be more of like a third or fourth receiver for you. They just don't have a lot of options, okay? Their offensive coaching staff, they don't have one. It's a bunch of defensive guys that they gave them offensive titles and said, hey, give this shit a shot, okay? So the Patriots, I think, are going to be pretty bad this season. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think that they're going to be pretty freaking bad. Listen, French, and that's a good point. I thought about putting the Patriots over the Jets. The only reason I did it is because of that thing that went around about the first 9 weeks. Like, the only winnable games that the Jets have the first 9 weeks is the Patriots. So that's the only reason that I left the Jets there. And also, it's because at the end of the day, I think that the Jets – I think the Jets could win more games starting Joe Flacco this whole year than they will win starting Zach Wilson. Look, I've been on this train for a minute now, and I'm going to die on it, all right? Zach Wilson, to me, I would move on. I would move on. I would be like, I'm done with this guy, okay? We saw what he did last year. Everybody likes to point to those last 5 games where his turnovers were down. Bro, he still didn't do anything in those games. They still were not a good football team, and he still did not play well. Then you look at his one preseason showing this preseason, okay? Guy looks freaking awful. Threw a pick 6, then has a non-contact injury, and he's out for like at least the first 4 weeks. So I'm done with Zach Wilson. I can't put any faith in him. That's the only reason the Jets are number 4. Literally, put any quarterback on the Jets, and I would take Johnny Football over Zach Wilson. That sounds nuts. That sounds nuts, right? But like, if God spoke to me and he said, Johnny Manziel, I'm giving you a 110% committed Johnny Manziel, and he actually was putting forth his best effort. That's the biggest knock with Manziel, was he couldn't get effort out of him. He just wanted to party.
He got his pay. He got payday, and that's it.
Yeah. So that's all I have on this entire division. I know I went on a little bit of a rant there, but I just knew I was going to do it with the Patriots because I hate what they're building right now. And I hate, listen, I understand that I am questioning the great one in Bill Belichick, but this is the time I'm going to do it. I'm going to say that they are going downhill from here.
Hey, we kind of questioned it last season. They still won, 10?
That's true. They did.
You know what I'm saying?
I just think, man, I just can't. Even, look, I'm not a huge Mac Jones guy, but even beyond that, I just think that the tools aren't there for success for Mac Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the Bills are a runaway in this division. So let's move on to AFC North, I should say. This is where it gets very interesting in our list. We're completely different. And
let's start with you. Let's go ahead and go down your whole list. Just tell me why.
You know what? I didn't want to put the Ravens up top, but I have a good feeling about the Ravens this season, man. I just feel like Lamar Jackson, He said Friday, if I don't get paid, we ain't talking until after the season. I feel like he's in line for a huge, huge season, like almost an MVP season what he had, a couple seasons ago. I feel like Lamar is about to shut this whole organization up and prove that he's worth every penny. The Bengals are still that team. I just feel like the Ravens are going to have a slightly better team than them. I think that this division is going to be basically off of a divisional standing. We possibly could have the same exact record at number 1 and 2. Just divisional rankings could probably pivot, Ravens or Bengals for me. The Steelers are 3 for me, just because, Deshaun Watson suspended 11 games, and that just kind of pushed the Browns to 4th. I just feel like Jacoby Brissett is not going to be. We get Deshaun Watson's a piece of shit, right? But he's a talent on the field. Let's just be honest. Jacoby Brissett is not Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, but I just feel like 11 games, that's going to be big. I predicted them going 4-7. 4-7 without Deshaun Watson, and it's going to be tough to come out of that hole in this division. And I feel like the Steelers are a slight edge because, one, you can't ever discredit what Mike Tomlin can do. He's never had a losing record. So I that's why I have him at 3 and not 4, because I just feel like no matter what Tomlin is gonna, get it done. So that's why I have them at 3. No matter if it's Trubisky, Pickett, they even threw Mason Rudolph at number 2 in the depth chart, but now they have him at number 3. So we don't know, but no matter who is the quarterback for the Steelers, I think they're going to get it done, just enough to get another winning record.
Okay, you bring up some great points. There's some great points. I love what you had to say about the Ravens. Okay, listen, this is where I differ a little bit. The only reason that I'm picking Cincinnati to win this division and the Ravens to come in second is because the Ravens had so many injuries last year. Mm-hmm. They are still trying to get some guys back. Okay. J.K. Dobbins, we don't know if he's going to be ready week 1. Gus Edwards isn't going to be ready for I think the first 4 weeks. Yep. And then on top of that, you just got Marcus Peters off of PUP. So, and we didn't even mention Ronnie Staley, who also just came off of PUP. And those two are going to start. But it's that time. It's like you need to get some time in, get your feet wet, actually play the game. Exactly. Yeah. I think down the stretch, when it comes to Super Bowl contention, I think that the Ravens have a stronger chance than the Cincinnati Bengals. But as far as winning the division, I'm going to pick the Bengals because of the consistency of their team. They did improve what they needed to in the offensive line.
They did.
Now, my one concern with the Ravens is their receiving corps. Obviously, the only guy of any notoriety that they have is Rashad Bateman because he was their first-round pick. But they still have a good tight end, a great tight end, and Mark Andrews. And they got another guy that's building a little steam at tight end too, and Isaiah Likely. He's been building up some little hype in preseason as well. And this is a team that is going to function their offense completely around Lamar. And what Lamar Jackson does best is run the freaking ball. They added some talent on the offensive line at center, and Tyler Lindenbaum also. And then the defense, dude, the defense is going to be great. If everybody can be healthy, the defense will be great. But I think that this is a team that's going to come on a little stronger on the second half of the season rather than the first. They might start a little slow. But regardless of who they have at receiver, because outside of Bateman, it's basically nobody at the actual wide receiver position. If they can just stay afloat, if they can get their running backs, their 2 running backs healthy, I think that they are going to be good to go to make a playoff run. And I think that they have a better Super Bowl chance than the Bengals. Now, with the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay, I completely understand what you're saying with Mike Tomlin. I keep thinking this guy's about to have his first losing season, and he just doesn't.
Won't happen.
I might end up being wrong here, okay? But I'm putting the Browns at 4 because I do feel like there's still some uncertainty at quarterback.
At 3.
Mitch. Wait, what?
You're putting him at 3, right?
You're right. I'm kind of mixing my words here. I'm putting the Steelers at 4 and the Browns at 3 because with the Steelers, I think that there's still a little like, what are we going to do at quarterback? Obviously, Kenny Pickett. I think he really played better than Mitch Trubisky in the preseason. It was just that I think what it comes down to is their offensive line is awful, and I don't think they want to put him out there yet with that offensive line playing the way that it's planned. And I think that offensive line is seriously going to hold this team back. I don't believe in Mitch to carry a team. I understand that Mitch has had a lot of success specifically in Chicago. He made the playoffs like what, 3 years out of his 4 years starting, but it was all with the team carrying him. And the Steelers do have a very good defense, but I just don't think it's going to be enough in a tough AFC where the offense is going to be all the firepower. Now, on the flip side with the Browns, the reason I feel comfortable putting them over the Steelers is because, yeah, you're starting the first 11 games with Brissett. But look, the offensive line is elite in Cleveland, okay? They don't have a great center. Obviously, the guy that was going to start got pancaked and folded like a lawn chair by the Jaguars.
You guys heard him. Yeah.
But look, outside of the center position, I mean, their tackles are really, really good. The guards, phenomenal. So I just think that their run game is going to 100% be the soul of that team, which it already has been with Baker. So I just think even with Brissett, he's obviously maybe a little bit of step down from Baker Mayfield, but I don't think it's a huge drop off. And I think that they'll have put together a respectable record, especially with their defense. I mean, you got Myles Garrett. Okay, that guy's a freaking monster. Clowney, you know, I'm big on Clowney, even though he's not a big stat sheet guy. I think he's a great player. And then Denzel Ward, David Newsome as cornerbacks. I just think that the Browns have enough on that team to stay ahead of a team like the Steelers.
Yeah. I just like what the Steelers have over there too. Like George Pickens, that's going to be a good addition for them, and they have a solid defense, dude. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers always got a good-ass defense, so that could be a toss-up right there. But, I mean, this whole division is going to be tough, man. Nobody is bad in this division. They're all pretty good, so we'll see how that's going to pan out. Let's head to the AFC South, your division. And I got a little bit of a surprise right there on my list. I know, but I'm gonna let you take it away. This is your division, so
thank you, I'm gonna let you take it away. So I actually struggled with this division a little bit, specifically at the top. That was really the only struggle, was the top. Okay, who's gonna come out at number one between the Colts and the Titans? All right, and it was close. Okay, I think that it could really go either way. I'm giving the nod to the Colts because I think that their defense is better. It's just 100% better. I mean, they have a lot of talent on that defense. Titans have a few pieces on defense, but they don't have a complete defense. They get points blown up on them at times. And I just think the Titans and the Colts kind of have the same problem. I think that their receiving core is very shaky for both of them, okay? And their tight ends, too. They don't have great tight ends. So I just think their receiving weapons as a whole, both of them aren't very good. But I feel better about the Colts because I like their run line right now, okay? Their offensive line. They do have some question marks in pass protection, specifically that left tackle spot, which they haven't been able to really seem to find a replacement there. They didn't address it at all. Matt Ryan's a guy that does need pass protection, so I could see this going flip-flopped and the Titans winning it over them. But for me, I'm going to stick with the Colts because also I think that Frank Wright is in a situation where he better freaking win, man. I mean, if Frank Wright does not win, or I should say, if Frank Wright does not make the playoffs, I think Frank Wright might end up losing his job because look, Irsay was so pissed off about them missing the playoffs last year. Okay. And he's been letting you guys pick the quarterbacks. All right. Cause you picked Phillip Rivers, who was your guy in freaking San Diego. And then you picked Carson Wentz, who was your guy in Philly. So it's just like they let you run with the quarterbacks. It seemed like he basically mandated that they go out and get somebody else, which ended up being Matt Ryan. And they've spoken so glowingly of Matt Ryan to the point where I feel like if they lose, they're going to put it. Frank is going to take the blame if they lose. And I think that he'll be the odd man out if they don't make the playoffs. So I think it's a must-win type of situation. And obviously they have Jonathan Taylor, but it's obviously even with him and Derrick Henry. But I'm just going to give the nod to the Colts. The Jaguars. Look, I love that you put us at 2, Max. I just don't think we're there yet, personally. Like, we've seen the highs in preseason, but we've also seen some not so highs. I don't want to say lows because it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't playoff caliber football on offense. I just think that this is a young team. They're going to need time to develop, and I just don't think that we're ready yet. So I'm going to leave us at 3, but I am definitely not putting Davis Mills over the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. Look, and another reason is because, look, the Jaguars spent big money this offseason, but I still feel like we didn't get like a true number superstar, one playmaker on offense over the offseason. The biggest playmaker we have, there's 2 guys on our offense where if they get the ball, they can score at any point in time. And that's Travis Etienne and Jamal Agnew. Okay, you guys are going to be like, what? Jamal Agnew? Yes, Jamal Agnew is so electric with the ball in his hands. So, yes, I'm going to include him in that conversation. But we just don't have enough of that on this team yet, I don't think, personally.
I would say Zay Jones, too, just because of the speed. he's just
he's
so
fast, but
fast.
I need to see more before I'll put him in
Yeah.
that category.
The reason why I put the Jags, I just feel like the Titans didn't do anything like that wowed me in this offseason. Like, I feel like they just got worse. You know what I'm saying?
They did.
Now, and
But they
also
were
I
the
feel like,
number one seed, so that's what you
yeah,
got to also take into account. Like they can get worse and still be good.
yeah, you're right. But I honestly think this might be a QB controversy. I feel like, hey, this might be a little hot take here, but I don't think Tannehill will be the starter by the end of the
I
season.
think you're nuts.
That's my hot take of the season. I don't know. I just feel like he will do something that will piss off Mike Vrabel, and he'll just be like, you know what, screw this. I'm done. Like they don't really have a lot of weapons. They do have Robert Woods. They do have of course Derrick Henry. They have Treylon Burks. I
Can't
don't
get on
know.
the freaking practice field.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
can't
no,
run
I'm with you. There's
around.
a lot of question marks.
Like,
There definitely is. I
yeah,
just want to say one thing about the quarterback conference. This is my only rebuttal, and that's all I'm going to say, is that Mike Vrabel hasn't been the most supportive of Malik Willis so far. There was the game he had that wowed everybody,
that wowed
but
him.
he literally
Yeah.
said, I pulled him out of the game because he kept running the ball and he wouldn't try to run
Throw
the
it.
play, basically.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'll say about that. I 100% think you're wrong. I think Ryan Tannehill is going to be the guy. But listen, go ahead with the rest. Why do you got the Colts at 1 over everybody?
I just feel like they're just light years ahead of these teams. I just feel like Matt Ryan does give them a little bit more of a boost than Carson Wentz would in my eyes. I know he's a statue behind that offensive line. He doesn't move, but accuracy wise, I mean, he's proven that he can lead a team to a Super Bowl. Can't win it, but he can lead it there. You know what I'm saying? And like this defense, like you said, man, it's just the best in the division. I do think the Jaguars defense is going to shock a lot of people, man, because like y'all look pretty good in the preseason defensively.
Great.
So like I feel like defensively the Jaguars could like wow a lot of people and shock a lot of teams, but I just think the Colts just all around have a better unit than all these guys. Like, Jonathan Taylor, Hines, those guys in the backfield, both of them are weapons. They both can catch the ball as well. And then you got Pittman, and then you just drafted Alec Pierce. A lot of people don't really know who Alec Pierce is. He played in Cincinnati. He's a white boy receiver, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like he could do something. He's a big body guy. Jack Doyle did retire. You're going to probably struggle a little bit. You have Mo Alley Cox still there, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, you got enough. And, now his name is Shaquille Leonard. I was like looking at that. I was like, for the NFL top 100, I was like, who the hell is Shaquille Leonard? And I was like, wait, I forgot. He's the maniac changed his name. But yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about Leonard, man. That dude is an absolute beast. So you upgraded your defensive line with Ngakoue. Not saying he's crazy good, as you know. He's like
Yannick Ngakoue is really good.
He's bounced around. He's bounced around the league. You know what I'm saying?
And he's back with Gus Bradley too.
Yeah, but I just think the Colts are just by far the best team in this division, but I do think the Jaguars are going to shock a lot of people. I think I'm not saying the Jaguars are going to win. Like, they might win 8 games, man. They might win.
Like, how many games do you think, like for your standings, how many games do you think the Colts will have over the Jags?
I think
they win this division easily.
2 or 3. Yeah, I do. I think they're going to win this division easily. I don't think the Jaguars will make the playoffs. Like, this is not going to be another wild card team for me. Like, it's just you got to win a division. You're not going to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do we want to touch on the Texans at all?
No, there's nothing to really talk about, man.
All right.
I mean, I like Damian Pierce. Shout out to the RB1 over there, but
hey, they got your boy Stingley.
Oh yes, they got Stingley too. I do think the Texans aren't gonna be like a go roll over and die team. I think they're gonna be like a Lions. They're gonna bite your kneecaps a little bit, but it's like a little Chihuahua bite. It doesn't hurt as bad, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's all I got to say about the Texans, bro. It's gonna be a long rebuild for them. But let's go to the AFC West, and this is by far the best division in football, man. We're kind of the same at the top there. We have a little flip-flop on the bottom. But tell me why, because we have the same too. So tell me why you had the Raiders over the Broncos, because it's Broncos country now. Let's ride. So
yeah, I just I think that with the let's ride Russell Wilson Broncos. I just think that people are projecting a lot in this situation to me. I'm not comfortable with it enough. Okay. And this is why. All right. Because you got a first-time head coach in Nathaniel Hackett, who, to be honest with you, only got his job as a head coach because he coached Aaron Rodgers. Like, let's be freaking real, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody, because that offense was going to run no matter who was in charge of it. Okay. I've seen Nathaniel Hackett as an offensive coordinator. He was okay. But he got fired. All right. Blake Bortles definitely didn't work out. All right. And look, with Russ, I mean, he didn't have the best year last year. All right. I'm not saying Russ is done. He's not. He's going to be a good player. I just think that this Denver Broncos situation is going to take at least a year for them to all get comfortable together, because Jerry Jeudy hasn't done anything. And people make the argument that it's because of the quarterbacks. But okay, but we still haven't seen it. And there have been other guys that have done it without quarterbacks. Like Terry McLaurin did it without a quarterback. So you can't just use that excuse as the reason that you didn't produce. I mean, I need to see more from that. All right. Tim Patrick already out for the year. So I just think that people are kind of like projecting with the Broncos, man. They got a solid defense, but it's not elite. Like Bradley Chubb is a long way away from his double-digit sack season. Okay, he needs a good year this year because this is his fifth-year option, I believe. But they just haven't proven enough to me to put them over these other teams. Okay, with the Las Vegas Raiders, I understand they also have a new head coach, but this guy's done it before. Okay, and with Josh McDaniels, I feel like we all know what he brings to the table as a play caller. Okay, Josh McDaniels has been an elite play caller, and I feel like this team with the Raiders, they are so meshed together already. Okay, they add Devontae Adams, but him and Carr already got that relationship. You know what I'm saying? The biggest question mark to me for the Raiders is their offensive line. Okay, their offensive line is not strong. They have Colton Miller, and that's about the only guy that you're going to 100% be like, I can rely on this dude.
Yep.
But the weapons they have, I just feel like they're clearly better than the Broncos. Okay, even outside of Devontae Adams, you also have fucking Hunter Renfrow, who had a great freaking year last year. Okay, and Darren Waller. All right, Darren Waller is one of the most he's like a top 3, top 4 tight end in this league. So I just think when I look at the weapons the Raiders have, it's better. And on the flip side with the Raiders, okay, I'd say overall them and the Broncos defense are very close. But the one thing the Raiders have that you need in this league is elite pass rush. They got Max Crosby and Chandler freaking Jones. Okay, that is going to be a dominant duo to the point where I just cannot leave the Raiders. I can't put the Raiders at 4 with the situation that they have. On top of that, Derek Carr, to me, it looks like it's Derek Carr's time. I just feel like it's Derek Carr's time. The amount of adversity he overcame last season, I just feel like he is going to – everybody in that building is 100% behind Derek Carr. And I think that this is one of the few times in his career it's been that way. I feel like he really cemented himself as I am the guy in Las Vegas last season, making the playoffs with obviously the terrible situations that were going on around him. So I just think that this is Carr's time. And I know I put them at 3. I'm saying it's his time. The only reason that it's 3 is because, dude, what are you going to do? Dude. What are you going to do, dude? The Chiefs and the Chargers, come on, okay? I actually, before the preseason, this is why preseason does matter, Max, okay? Because before the preseason, I really thought I'd end up putting the Raiders ahead of the Chiefs. Preseason is the reason I did not. Because look, when the Chiefs played their preseason with the first team, they didn't miss a freaking beat, bro.
Nope.
They scored the second they got out there. And I saw that. I said, yeah, that's all I need to see. It doesn't matter who's out there. Pat Mahomes is going to make it work. So I got them at 2. And I think you could even, after what I saw, I could even make an argument to put them at 1. The reason I'm going to put the Chargers over them, look, the Chargers defense was terrible last season. Yeah, terrible. Okay. This season, I think the Chargers defense is actually going to be good. I think it will take time. I think they'll be just okay to start the season. But I think as the season goes on and they mesh with each other, they're going to be one of the top defenses in this league. On the flip side, the Chiefs, their defense is kind of heading the opposite direction. Obviously, they picked up some draft picks with George Karlaftis, and I think they got a defensive back pretty early too, but I can't remember who it was. But regardless, dude, I mean, they lost Tre'Davious Ward. That's a big loss, and they already weren't an amazing defense. They were just okay. I just think that the Chargers have more star power, and I just feel like how I said that it's Derek Carr's time. I think that it's also Herbert's time. I think it's Herbert's time to have a year that's better than Patrick Mahomes. So that's my four.
I should have recorded that, man, because I don't think I've ever seen you talk so highly about the Raiders, man. You used to hate that team.
It's not that I hate the Raiders.
It's John Gruden.
What they were doing, and I hated John Gruden.
Hey,
like it's nothing against the actual team, the Las Vegas Raiders.
And you look back.
This is proof right here. This is proof.
You look back and look at all the draft picks that are gone now that they had. They just cut Alex Leatherwood.
Oh, yeah, no,
Like
it's
the
awful.
whole
It's
John
awful.
Gruden and Mike Mayock picks are gone now. But dude,
A lot of them are like in trouble.
in jail.
Yeah.
But man, like I said before the went on air, man. It was so hard to put the Raiders last. But this division's so damn freaking good, man.
So
Like
go ahead though and sell me. I want to know. Sell me on the
I
Broncos. Why the Broncos over the Raiders?
because I just believe in Russell Wilson, dude. I know like I just feel like the fallout in Seattle, it was a lot of like messy, dirty laundry that, we didn't really know about behind the scenes. But
They just dropped an article about it
I
today,
know,
actually.
I know, I saw that. I want to read it too. But I just feel like the Broncos, they have a better offensive line that Russell Wilson can, actually be okay behind, unlike Seattle. You have two great running backs when in Seattle you didn't really have one healthy running back. You know what I'm saying? They had so many injuries behind in that backfield in Seattle with him there. I get it. You're leaving DK and Tyler Lockett and, David Moore, but I just feel like Jerry Jeudy, Sutton will be good enough for Russell to do stuff, and I don't know, man. I just feel like this is a complete team. Like they are a complete team, and they have like, dude, it's so hard for. It might be like a game or two to like flip flop these teams, man. Because like I'm looking at the Raiders too in my head. I'm like, damn, like they have a great team also, but I just feel like I have to give the edge to Russell Wilson. I just have to over Derek Carr. I'm not saying Derek Carr stinks. He's a great quarterback, but I think Russell Wilson is just that dude. I mean, if you watched our top 32 quarterbacks, he's still a top 8 quarterback for me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still up there, dude. So I just feel like with Russell Wilson under center for Denver, that's going to be the slight edge. That's going to be the slight edge. And I just feel like both defenses are good, Raiders and Broncos, but I don't know, man. I just feel like you can't sleep on Bradley Chubb either over there with that pass rush. I'm blanking on the other guy. I know they have another defensive end that I'm just absolutely blanking on, but
Randy Gregory.
yeah, Randy Gregory. Thank you. So like they have a nice pass rush as well. I'm not saying it's better than Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, but it's it will get the job done. And all these teams have a great pass rush. I just can't
Yeah,
wait. I cannot wait, Kiefer, to watch this division play football this year. Like this is gonna be popcorn, like all season long. I don't know. There might be a
I'm
game
with you.
to
It's gonna be razor thin. We're
yeah.
showing you. We didn't put records on this because I didn't want to get it so exact, and I knew that we'd fuck up the balance of it. But I think that like in this situation, there will be at least 2 teams that have the same record, and it's just down to tiebreakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably
And
3, to be honest with you. But
just to touch on the Chargers and Chiefs just for a little bit, we'll move on. I just feel like the Chargers that's going to be one of the best teams in this league this year. I mean, on paper, we said it multiple times on the show, man. They have hit the nail on the head on each position they absolutely needed to, address. They got better everywhere, bro. I mean, their offense didn't really have to do much, but man, that defense is just completely turned around. And the Chiefs, the Mahomes now has the Aaron Rodgers effect. I get you take away their best options, but man, they got enough on the field to make it work. That they're gonna be okay. And was that Pacheco, that the running back for the Chiefs? That's a sleeper, man. That guy is like a playmaker. That's
whose fantasy
gonna.
team's he on?
I don't know, man. But whoever drafted him, I was like, damn, because like I was eyeballing him, bro. Do you have him?
It's my running back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, good job because that guy had a phenomenal camp
I
and
will
preseason.
say with their running backs, because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to lose that job. I
Me
really
too.
do.
Me too.
But I do think that it's going to turn into a committee because Pacheco has looked good this preseason. But dude, you know who else came on the end of the year last year for them, and he was also continued to look good this preseason? Jared McKinnon, man. That's a guy that we might be sleeping on a little bit. Okay, he's a guy that has suffered so many injuries, man. Just couldn't get out on the field for like the past 2 or 3 seasons. He's missed
for real, man.
over injuries, but he does seem like he's found a home in KC, and I do see them kind of splitting it and making use of both of those guys. So
yeah, so this is gonna be a razor thin division. So let's go to the wild cards, kind of give you guys where we lie, and just right here, I have 2 in that division making it to the freaking playoffs. So 3 teams in that division will make the playoffs in my eyes. But I got the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Broncos. You're kind of almost similar with me. Not really, because you have a little flip-flop because of the Ravens and the Bengals. But, yeah, so, I mean, the AFC is going to be so tough, bro. So
yeah,
tough.
and to be honest with you, even here, like what I really do believe that like with these tight, like when it comes to the end in the AFC, it is gonna come down to injuries right here. Okay. Look, if any 3 of these teams suffer injuries, Miami's the team I really wanted to put in, man. I really wanted to put the Dolphins in the playoffs, but there's just not freaking room for them right now. They need some injuries. And the biggest susceptible person to me is the Ravens. I think that the Ravens could end up with another injury-riddled season. If they start rushing people back, that's the thing that they need to not do when the season starts. Don't rush everybody back. Like, if JK is not ready, sit him. If Marcus Peters isn't ready right now, sit him. Like, just wait, because you do not want them to suffer something else that's going to throw the process, make it even longer. The Browns are another team I'm putting as just miss, just because I just think they're going to miss because of obviously starting Brissett. But I think that they're good enough to hang in there. I think that they will hang in there, and they'll be right there at the end. So I'm going to keep those 2 as my just missed.
I'm shocked you didn't put the Broncos down there.
I told you I'm not on the Broncos this year. I think that they're gonna be 500.
Okay,
they're gonna get 8 or 9 wins. We'll see. Dude. Maybe Russell bring the Muscle Wilson just shuts me the fuck up. But after what I saw from him last year, I just really felt like his heart wasn't even in it, man. And I know it wasn't. He's probably got this resurgence in Denver, but I just feel like him and Hackett are going to have similar issues. I mean, maybe not exactly similar, because obviously some of it was like them scouting other quarterbacks and stupid shit. But I just think that there's going to be something that he's not going to be happy with, man. I just think that Hackett's not going to make this perfect system for him. And I think that they're going to have struggle somewhere.
I will say this before we move on to the last little topic we have. Hey, man, I'm sorry that the Jags play in the AFC, buddy.
I know, right? Jesus, like, damn, if we were in the NFC, I might have been able to slide.
Yeah, you might. Oh, man. Oh, there you go. You were frozen a little bit. You good?
Right, so
there's our Super Bowl contenders. That's what we have for the Super Bowl
contenders. This is just the playoff teams. So this is the playoff teams, right? Then this is our seedings of what we think the playoffs are going to go in, specifically the NFC. So for the first thing I want you to identify here, Max, because, now that there's 7 teams in the playoffs, not everybody's a contender, right? Like, personally, I feel like you go into the playoffs, there are certain teams aren't going to make it. So out of these teams, who do you think actually has a realistic good chance to make the Super
Bowl? I say only a couple of them. I say the Bucks. I say the Packers, but I say that every single year, man. I just got to hold my breath at this point. And you can't sleep on the Niners or the Rams. Like, that division is like a toss-up. I have the Niners winning, but it wouldn't shock me at all the Rams take it the whole way, even if they are a wild card team. You know what I'm saying? I think Niners, Rams, Bucks, and Packers are the 4 for me in the NFC to, like, really be a Super Bowl contender.
Okay, right on. For me, kind of similar a little bit. I'm looking at the Packers, Bucks, Rams, and the Saints. Okay, I know the Saints is the one that's a little questionable. Look, I could say the same thing about your San Francisco 49ers one. All right,
yeah, you're right.
And this is why, because, like, look, they're going into it with a Trey Lance. They're going into it with
Winston,
with Kyle Shanahan, who has blown it in the Super Bowl twice. So I mean, I guess that still counts because it's really making it to the Super Bowl for NFC. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Packers, Bucks, and Rams are kind of obvious. I mean, those are the 3 favorite superstar teams. I would consider the Eagles if it wasn't for Hurts being so young. I just can't put them there.
Yeah,
the Saints. The reason I can put them there, okay, the reason I feel comfortable saying the Saints have a realistic shot, because first of all, their defense is championship caliber. We kind of know that. The reason I feel super comfortable is because Jameis Winston has been through it all. Jameis Winston has struggled with so many downfalls and so much, like, people kind of negative talking about him after his first 4 years in Tampa. I just think that this is a guy that is going to give no fucks in the playoffs. And when you're a quarterback, you can't be nervous. And I don't think that Jameis will be nervous in big time situations because he's already fucked up a lot. Okay. Let's be honest. I mean, we've seen the superstardom with Jameis, but we've also seen the, come on, Jameis. What was it? Who was it? What did he say? Damn, Jameis. Damn, Jameis.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those players. And I just think he's learned from that and grown so much. Look, he's going to have an idiotic speech, right? We're going to hear dumbass speeches. But as far as his mental ability to look past the pressure, I think Jameis is one of the guys that can do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a wild card, as you would say. But I just don't think the Saints have it. You know, they can't beat the big dogs. They could probably beat the Packers, man, because anybody could beat the Packers in the fucking playoffs, mainly the 49ers.
All right, so let's get to the fun stuff here. Okay, now before we say who we're going to win to the Super Bowl, just pick who is your NFC team to make it to the Super Bowl.
It's sad to say it, but the Bucs, man. I don't know. I just feel like Brady's I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I feel like he's going to get there again. You know, and I'm done picking the Packers making it to the Super Bowl, man. Every time I do, it's not going to happen. So maybe if I don't, maybe that's the superstition that will happen. So I'm taking the Bucs, man. I'm taking the Bucs heading to the Super Bowl in the NFC.
That is so funny, man. About you not wanting to pick the Packers. That is so funny.
I know you are.
Because listen, I did not want to pick the Packers. I didn't want to do it. I did not want to pick the Packers this year. Aaron Rodgers has blown it year after year after year. LaFleur lost to a guy that threw 8 times in the NFC Championship game. I'm a fucking madman, okay? But I'm going to pick the Packers to make it to the Super Bowl. Again, that's my pick again, okay? And this is fucking why, all right? I wanted to pick the Rams. I was trying to sell myself. I was like, dude, they got all the best players back. They're ready. But it is so hard to do it again. It's so hard to make it back again. And I just feel like somewhere in that locker room, there will be somebody that's just relaxing just a little bit more than they relaxed last year. With the Packers, I feel like the pressure is fucking on, man.
It really is, bro.
You guys are not going to be able to build a roster better than it is, okay? I do believe that last year's roster was better than this year's, but I think that there might be a little bit more underdog mentality going on over there in the Green Bay Packers. You guys lost your first freaking playoff game. And it's not only that you lost the playoff game, it's how you lost the game. That's another reason that I'm picking you, okay? You guys lost off the special teams bullshit. Obviously, the offense wasn't scoring enough points, but at the end of the day, the reason you lost is because your special teams sucked ass. You guys addressed those issues. You went out, you got Rich Bisaccia.
I don't think we have yet. I don't think we have
Explain
yet.
why. Explain why. Maybe this is new
information. I've seen what we have been doing in the preseason. I don't think we have addressed that issue, bro. I don't know.
What happened? I don't remember any block.
I just watched I watched the game with the Chiefs. I get it. It's like, the last preseason game. Not a lot of stars are there, but it's special teams. You're gonna get the guys out there. We gave up a lot of yardage on returns. A lot of missed tackles. Just the stupid small stuff like that, man. Not saying we gave up block punts or block field goals or nothing like that, but just like the special teams unit. I don't think I follow a lot of Packers groups too on Facebook, and a lot of people are kind of, we signed Rich Bisaccia just for this. It hasn't looked good yet, but like I said, it's preseason. We'll hold our breath.
Listen, I do have a little bit of good news for you. I don't know if you know this. Well, I know you got him, but okay. So, Rudy Ford, Jaguars guy that got cut, you guys picked him up. That guy is actually elite in special teams, just so you know. He is one of the best cover down tackle guys that you can get. I was pretty disappointed when the Jaguars cut him because he is very useful for that. And he's really versatile on defense. He won't play on defense for you because he's not good enough to, but as far as special teams, he is one of a really good coverage guy. Listen, I'm sticking with the Packers though. Yeah. And we'll let that be that.
Let's go to the AFC side of the thing. So we have here's our standings for the playoffs.
All right, now Max, let's start with you. Who are the real Super Bowl contenders in the AFC?
I have to go with the Bills, Chargers, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, almost everybody except for the Colts and Broncos. I feel like I can't put them up there yet, but everybody else, you have to put the Bengals up there. I mean, they just got there. The Chiefs are always going to be a Super Bowl contender if Patrick Mahomes is there. The Ravens, that's a tough one for me. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I think they have a shot to make it. And the Chargers and Bills, man, those are my best two teams in the AFC on paper. So I'll give you, that's my AFC championship game right there. Chargers and Bills, man. What do you think?
Chargers and Bills. That's a good sounding game, my friend. Look, for me, my contenders, I'm with you. It's a lot more in the AFC, okay? I'm going Bills, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs, Raiders, and Ravens. I'm picking all of them as contenders except for the Colts. I realistically think that it is possible. I struggle to put the Bengals in there a little bit just because they just made it to the Super Bowl, and I think the Super Bowl hangover is real. But, I mean, you look at the youth on the team and Joe Burrow and what he's done, I do think they have a chance. I think that everybody in the AFC, basically, except the Colts, and anybody that comes from the South, basically, I think everybody else has a chance. Now, who do I think is going to make it, all right? I'm going to be completely honest with you, Max. If I picked anybody outside of the Buffalo Bills, it would only be because everybody's picking the Bills. And, like, I really did consider picking a different team because everybody is picking the Bills. But, dude, they're the best, man. I mean, top to bottom, this roster is absolutely loaded. Once they get Tre'Davious White back specifically, they are absolutely loaded. There's not a freaking weakness. So, I got to go with the Bills.
I love the James Cook addition to that team as well.
He's going to secure that. He isn't the starting running back, but I'm telling you, by the end of the year, that guy is going to be a true 3-down back for them.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I got the Bills winning the Super Bowl. I got the Bills winning the Super Bowl over the Bucks. I got Bills and Bucks, Super Bowl, Bills winning. And I think that's how you're going to see Tom Brady officially just go away. You're going to lose in the Super Bowl. You got it there. All right, you're 45. Just go. You already signed a $375 million contract with Fox or whoever the hell you signed it with. Just fade off into sunset, Tom. I think that's kind of like a new leaf. Like, all right, Josh Allen's here, man. You know, Josh Allen is not going to be played with for the rest of his career. He's going to get a ring. I just don't see a team beating this team, man. Like, we might see the Chiefs up there again, but Bart Scott said it the best for me, man. No team has struggled, has went through the mud like the Bills have, bro. Like, we saw them, you know, come up from just absolutely nothing. You know, you built this team, right? And then last season, a heartbreak loss to the Chiefs. And then now they just changed the playoff overtime rules because of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all struggled. Y'all came through, and I feel like they're going to rise, and they're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Nice pick, man. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL, but I'm going to do something super cop out here, okay? I'm picking the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
Woo!
And yes! The reason that I'm picking the Packers to win the Super Bowl is just because, look, the NFC has the least path of resistance, okay? So
the freshest legs.
I want my pick to be right, so I knew I was going to pick the NFC team to win because it's more likely that they even get there. The Bills might not even get there because the AFC is so freaking tough.
The path.
I'm going to pick them to make it, but I want my Super Bowl team to be right, so I'm picking the Packers.
Hey, so you got the Packers over the Bills. Okay.
Yep. You're welcome. You're picking the Jaguars second in the division. I'm picking the Packers to win the Super Bowl. Let's switch teams.
I like that, man.
Please. Huh? I'm just kidding. I love my Jaguars, even if I hate them.
Hey, all right. You'll get there eventually, Spence. You'll get there eventually.
Well, let's get to our final topic, man. Let's get to our final topic, okay? MVP and first overall pick. Look, my MVP, I'm going Lamar Jackson, okay? Thought about this a lot. I just really am going with him because he literally is the offense in Baltimore. They do not even work without Lamar Jackson. They beefed up the offensive line a little bit with Linderbaum. They set up the team in a way that is like oddly would only work with Lamar Jackson. It's like they got really good tight ends, really good running backs if they can get healthy. Yeah. Good offensive line, good defense, crap receivers. I think this is the only team that works on is the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. So,
I mean, like I said earlier, bro, I feel like I don't think he's going to get a deal done by Friday, bro. So I feel like he's going to really shut up that organization and prove that he needs his money.
That
And
fully
he could,
guaranteed.
yeah, for real. But I got Herbert, man. I got Herbert. I know it's a dark horse kind of. But I have a good feeling about Herbert this season. I don't know, man. Like I said, even though Josh Allen, I feel like will win the Super Bowl, I don't think he's going to get the MVP. I think Herbert's going to just light it up this season, man. I just feel like. And we'll see, man, because it could be Josh Allen, too, as MVP. But first overall draft pick, I don't know why, but I just feel like the Falcons are. I just don't see anything good. I don't see anything good about the Seahawks either, so I like your pick as well. But my other team that I thought about was the Bears. I feel like Falcons, Seahawks, Bears are going to be bottom, top 5 pick.
Yeah, you know why I went Seahawks over the Bears? Because they were a strong. Because honestly, to be completely honest with you, I really wanted to pick a team in the AFC. Like the Jets were the closest, but the only reason I went with the Seahawks is because I just feel like their roster. Not only do you not have a quarterback, you also have very little talent on your roster. In my opinion, I just think that the talent is so thin in Seattle. At least with the Jets, they got a little bit of talent. And at least with the Bears, they have Justin Fields, who's very talented quarterback that can probably slide you like an extra win or two. So that's why I went the Seahawks, because I just feel like it is honestly an abysmal mess. And Pete Carroll, he might be coming to the end of his days. And
yeah. I like what he's doing out there. He's running around with the team. You know what I'm saying? He's still having fun. He looks, for 70 years old, he looks good. But Pete Carroll, man, yeah, like I said, he might be done too. But that's our previews for the season.
That's the show.
Because tomorrow's the start of it all. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody. So this is where we all become, hey, it's football season, baby. Our team has a shot. And then some of us throughout the weeks just go lower and lower. Some of us go higher and higher. But it's all here. We are finally here. Thursday. Tomorrow we got Bills, Rams. Before we head out, Kiefer, who you got?
Oh, man, I am going to go with the Rams. Look, They just won the Super Bowl. All right, let's not forget that, okay? And look, at the end of the day, actually, the real reason that I'm going to pick them is because Tre'Davious White is not playing. And I do think that is huge, man. That's huge. Poyer's expected to play. But regardless, I just think, look, the Rams are 100% healthy, all right? They ain't been playing at all. They just been waiting for this game. So I just think that, look, this is a toss-up one too. I'm actually going to put a Bovada in on this bet, or this game, and I'm literally just going to bet whoever's the underdog because, I think this is a toss-up game. This is a potential Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah. Another key thing to look at is how is that left tackle going to help for the Rams now that Whitworth's gone?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing to look out for. I got the Bills winning. I feel like the Bills are just that team this year, bro. I think Von Miller got a little inside edge behind the Rams. He's just left them, joined the Bills. So I feel like they got a little double agent in there. So I got the Bills winning 31-28 or something like that. But we are here.
It's going to be a shootout, lights out, awesome game.
Going to be a great game.
Perfect way to kick the season off.
And before we head out, y'all, remember Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. We starting early, 9:30 a.m. here on Max Coverage TV. Kiefer and I will be hosting our morning show each and every Sunday until the season's over. We're going to give you guys everything you need to know before the game start and before all the big time, pre-shows start. So come and join us. Grab a cup of coffee, like I said. Hope we all see you there. And we're going to go through all the games, DraftKings, bets, all that good stuff, while having a couple of our buddies join us each and every single week. So hope we see y'all there. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to sign off here, man. Hey, tomorrow's the day, y'all. Until then, we'll see you next time. Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Peace. Be there. Be square. We're out here. See you later.